Welcome to Travelogue. This is a street special, The Bund. Today, in this episode, I'm going to introduce you the biggest city in China, Shanghai. Why we choose The Bund? I'll tell you. Because The Bund represents China both past and present. First of all, let's get some direction. Shanghai, the largest city in China, attracts people from all around the world like a magnet. People come here for its culture, history, and all the vigor and vitality. It shows in its rush to international metropolis status. Like a dragon wake up from his dream, Shanghai is the showcase of China's fast growth and the top price of tourist attractions, business opportunities, and cultural activities. Today's Shanghai is designed with a scope of international standards to welcome people from home and abroad. To meet with the international standard, it has to take the good elements and side effects. For instance, traffic jam is just an issue you have to deal with even in Shanghai. Zhongshandong Yilu that parallels the prominence is Shanghai's signature cityscape, a long wall of colonial-era European buildings erected by foreign governments, trading houses, and business individuals, mostly during the prosperous and disreputable 1920s and 1930s. The Bund, which means the embankment, refers to Shanghai's famous waterfront running along the west shore of the Huangpu River, forming the eastern boundary of old downtown Shanghai. The architectural design is a good start point for visitors. Let's take a close look at each of those buildings. Cathay Hotel, now the north wing of the Peace Hotel, built in 1930 by Victor Sasson, who was a bachelor living in the penthouse. He was also the owner of the English country-style villa, located on the grounds of today's Cypress Hotel. As passing by many other signature buildings such as the Old Custom House, the AIA American Insurance Company, I wondered who was the first one who had the idea to create such an establishment in Shanghai. It reminded me of Chinatown in New York City.
I think it was the Bund that ultimately sold me on coming to China and coming to Shanghai.
If you stay in the Peace Hotel on Zhongshandong Yilu and only prefer Starbucks and KFC, with just a little imagination, this part of Shanghai could be a duplicate of Lower Manhattan.
It's a beautiful series of buildings, and to be part of something that's really being reborn, I think it's a very exciting proposition.
Let's take a close look at the details of the buildings. They are all in European style with no trace of Chinese influence. The difference between the 20s and now is that people come to China today with a passion and love.
And when I came and saw the Bund the first time and saw the building, even though it was nothing like this today, I fell in love with it, and I thought I have to be part of this. I want to be part of China's, the next stage of China's life, and I want to be part of Shanghai, and I want to be part of the evolution, and in a small way, maybe even contribute to it.
The Bund lately has lots of changes. I'm talking about in recent 10 years. For example,
3 on the buns. It's brought in the trendy restaurants and the fashion clubs, fashion boutique, for example, the Giorgio Armani. Then there's 18 on the bun, the beautiful clubs and restaurants. And there's upcoming 5th on buns. So there are lots of things happen in the bun. But it's not that new. Back to 1920s, the bund used to be the center, commercial center for business, especially for Westerners. So let's go to take a look at everything. So what's your concept to set up the things in Shanghai?
Well, the concept was to do something on the bund, which is the most historically important part of Shanghai, but do something that's really dedicated to culture, lifestyle, the new contemporary culture that is China.
On the first page of press release kit from Mr. Li's business, it said, 3 on the Bund is a celebration of contemporary living, where art, culture, food, fashion, and music converge to inspire a richer life. An elegant, sophisticated gathering place for vibrant people and stimulating ideas. Li added that, within the 4 walls of the 3 on the Bund, you are in a different world.
The material is the best material you can find, whatever you're talking about, leather or
best?
How do you really best? It's really best, really best.
I know, very expensive.
Very expensive, super fine. You know, the fabrics are really expensive, really important. So this is why.
How expensive?
A lot of expensive. Like let's say, whatever fabrics, you know, the fabric they use in there, like from $200 up to $500,000. $500.
You're talking about US dollars.
US dollar, $500 per meters, which is really expensive.
Oh yeah.
But they're really super fine. It's, you know, usually whatever in a retail, in a fashion retail, people is working with design-wise. They're working with like just to tell you something more technical, with like a super 100, means like twisted super 100.
Wow.
This company works for super 200, so 20, you know, so like it's just the double.
Mr. Angelo Negro, commercial director of 3 on the Bund, gave me his professional advice on fashion. What I learned from him was that an Italian designer-made jacket will be my next wish from Santa Claus.
I like the word of fashion because when we talk about Shanghai, we talk about, you know, even back to 1920s, fashion, modern, and, you know, upscale. And this is a perfect example. See, you know, before we see lots of movies promoting around the world, most are about the old China. Right. So what do you see? What do you see this kind of upscale, you mentioned Armani, fitting the current China?
I think what you see here is, again, expression of this current spirit. And the current spirit that's here in Shanghai, and actually all over China, is exuberance of vitality, of incredible optimism and drive. And so that's being expressed individually.
Zhang Schwarzenegger is a legend, one of the 10 hottest chefs alive. 4-time award winner of the James Baird Foundation, the 4th restaurant in the world. Shanghai set it right on the Bund. It offers customers relaxation and lifts your spirits with a magic touch. Very lucky to have the chance to sit down with the best and youngest chef in the world and taste the new Shanghainese style.
Well, I guess I'm probably not one of the youngest anymore. But well, yeah, generally people tend to.
Everybody getting older sooner or later.
Right. People tend to say I was one of the youngest Chinese chefs in Asia.
So tell me about this food, this new concept that you mentioned before.
Well, basically, in this restaurant, what we wanted to, I call the food in this restaurant the Wang Po Club's cuisine. the dishes that we create, I call them the Wangpo Club's dishes. Its main element is actually based on Shanghainese cuisine. It is a cuisine which I have developed based on the inspiration of Shanghainese food. So all our dishes here does has a Shanghainese element, although it's always been presented differently, and it would taste still very much Shanghainese. These are all actually traditional Shanghainese classics. This is a drunken hairy crab.
Hairy crab. It's right on the season right now.
This is 醉鸡. 醉鸡, which is a drunken chicken.
It look good too. It's beautiful, actually.
Well,
I wish I could that beautiful when I got drunk.
Thank you. And I think they would taste much better than the way they look.
If you visit Shanghai, you have to come to the Bund. This is the 3 on the Bund. Every day, every week, there's a modern art exhibition, activities, events. Right now, there's called the 3 Wars right on the Bund. There's 3 famous artists from China have this exhibition right here. Now it's press conference. Modern art, it can be anything. Sometimes it's hard to interpret. For me, it's very easy to tell. This is a copy of a Chinese registration book and even a copy of a Chinese passport. And there's a college certificate. And here is Art Association membership card. But I found this piece is very interesting. It's a health certificate for international travelers. Hey, international travelers out there, you need one of those. If you come to China, this is exactly a copy of the health certificate for international travelers. Everybody needs that.
Seeking revenge, who is proud of being what he is. It is something that every time I see it, I feel captured. The energy that I